Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is your girl Sue with Zaps. On today's tutorial we are going to be looking at how to make these berets you're seeing with just your half yard of fabric. Okay, I love this beret so much. Like every of my outfits, I don't waste the fabric. I just use it and turn something into a beret, turn it into a beret. It gives me that unconventional look whenever I try it on. So we are folding our paper. I'll use this to illustrate, please. You fold your paper as though you're trying to cut a circle flare. Measure out 6 inches from the place of fold. You have your 6 inches. You know, just the way you cut your flare, you cut it, you measure it round 6 inches. Okay, so you go ahead and cut that out, and that should give you a circle if you got your 6 inches accurately. Okay, so we'll be cutting 2 of these. We'll use it to cut out the other parts. I'm just placing it like so to get a second circle, more like having a circle, 2 circles of 6 inches. So this too is going to be used to cut out the main fabric, that is the Ankara. Then you cut another 2 for the lining. That's exact shape and everything for the lining. You have 2 of it for the Ankara and 2 of it also for the lining. So at the tip of your folds, you have to measure out your radius, and the radius is going to be your head circumference divided by 6.28. okay, your head circumference divided by 6.28, and that hole or the opening we've created is going to be the part that will be worn over your head. So you go ahead and place it together like so and stitch round using 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, let's get to sewing. Okay, here we are on our machine. You can see I have my Ankara fabric, and I had to interface with soft wording just to give it that beret kind of texture. You know, the soft wording somehow looks like a felt, which is what is used in making a beret. So you just have to pad it to give it that kind of structure, so that when you bend it to whichever direction you want to bend it, it also folds, or it also bends as though you're wearing an actual beret. So I'm just trying to stitch the circles together using 1/2 inch as illustrated on the paper. Now you place it right sides facing each other. Okay, the white part you are seeing is the wrong side of my Ankara fabric, and that is the stay that you are seeing. So just go ahead and stitch it down around the circle with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, once you are done sewing it round, you can go ahead and notch. You know, you've made a circle, so you have to notch so that the seam relaxes. You also notch the lining, which is the black fabric we started with. So you just make your notches all around. Okay, so after notching, you can go ahead and flip over, turning out the right sides. So we are going to be matching the cap now, right sides facing each other. The right side of the lining and the right side of the Ankara fabric, you hold it like this and pin it round. Okay, so you can go ahead and tuck this in just to make the pinning easy for you. We're just pin round, and you stitch also with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so as you sew, ensure that the lining and the fabric are equal. Like, the lining should not be smaller than the fabric. You just have to stitch both of them at equal, using equal inches. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Not your lining will be smaller and the fabric will be bigger, so everything has to align properly. That is why you may need to use your pin to secure it down before sewing. So I did not close up entirely. You're going to be leaving some inches, maybe about 3 inches, that would enable you turn out your seam. Okay, so go ahead and make your notches again, and from the opening we left, we are going to be turning this out. Just leave as much as would allow you turn out your fabric and the lining. Okay, once you're done notching, you can go ahead and turn your fabric inside out, bringing out the Ankara from the inside. So when you're done bringing it out, you can take to your ironing table and iron. Then you close up the side seam, like the area where you turned it out from. Just tuck it in, okay, and top stitch on it. So this is the area where we turned out from. Just tuck in the stitches, the allowance, sorry, and make a top stitch. You can also use your hand needle to do this if you want the stitches or the lines concealed, the thread lines concealed. You can use your hand needle to do it, but here I'll be using my machine to top stitch. So when you're making something like this, always use a matching thread so that if you top stitch, it will not be so visible. Okay, and after this, our beret is done. You go to your table and give it a very warm and interesting press. Okay, I hope you find this tutorial useful. If you make yours, please kindly share with us. If you're joining us for the first time on this channel, we are glad to have you. Kindly subscribe. You can share this video, you can leave your comments, you can like and follow us on Instagram as SewWithZobs for upcoming tutorials.